What's going on, guys? I am Toxic Jordan. Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be jumping into the 10th anniversary edition of the virtual Dokkan Ultimate Clash here. So I've heard a couple of murmurs through the community about this event. So there's two main key things that I want to note right up front. The very first is that the reward system is a little bit different this time around. I guess this is common for the anniversary clashes that only last a couple of weeks, because normally they're only giving us, this big bout of rewards once per month, but there is a second one that happens during the anniversary period. So this one actually is not going to be giving us any Dragon Stones, which is a little bit unfortunate. I'm curious to see if we will still earn one Dragon Stone per stage cleared, the way that it normally works, and then we're just forfeiting all the extra Dragon Stones from the missions, right? And then, as you can see here, there's just a much shorter list of missions in general, and we are mainly here for, tickets, right, to be able to summon on those free ticket banners. So then the second thing I want to note is that the very final fight, apparently, has just, millions and billions of HP and takes a really long time to get through. So, with that being considered, let's go ahead and jump right in. Alright, so I guess I'm just gonna assume that this pattern works the same way, that, the very first fight typing is the same as the last type, or the last fight typing, though I'm not 100% sure, because I assume that might be, a multi-phase fight, maybe it would change typing, I don't exactly know. I did go into this as blind as I possibly could, right? Okay, so, yeah, we'll go ahead and start here, but because of that, we're gonna start out with the Peppy Gals team. Just to not use one of our mono-typing teams early on. So all of these units except for the Tech Cauliflas, she is going to be a part of our Super Tech team. I actually have some extra units selected just because the Cauliflas are good for, if we happen to be fighting against a Pure Saiyan or a Universe Survival Saga enemy at the time where we're using the Super Tech team, then she would be, viable units to put on the team, but other than that, she'll just sit there, and she is actually, extra units. I have 7 other units to build on that team besides her. Okay. We'll put 21 in the first slot. She's got the dodge build here, so that's probably going to work out the best for us. I'm honestly not too scared of this first phase anyway, so okay, yeah, we do get hit by it, yeah. Not an issue, though, especially with the double support up from both Bulma and Chilai, right? She had a pretty easy time tanking that. So yeah, I actually did just finish updating all of my Ultimate Clash teams. I am still forever, annoyed at this event because of the way that the team building works. There's just no reason that I should have to consistently spend 45 minutes of my life reorganizing all of the team builds and stuff. And I feel like anytime I go in there to actually edit my teams, really the best way to do it is just to fully delete everything and start from scratch, right? I feel like I have to do that oftentimes. If you spend, about a month not playing this event, and then you come back into it, and you have these wonky, category team builds and stuff, so I guess to show you an example of what we're doing here, we'll go for Extreme Physical. Okay, so it's great, these are the units I have on Extreme Physical. Now, who are my leaders? Is it obvious by looking at this list right here who exactly the 2 I'm supposed to select for the leaders are? Or is this just a random piling of good units and I have to sit here and hold on them, remember what their leader skills are, filter by their leader skills to double check which units are actually on the categories? It's just super annoying. I cannot express enough that they really need to update the way you build your teams for this event and just have you pre-build your teams at the beginning of the fight. Instead of having a big box of characters to choose from, you just have pre-built teams and then you bring all the pre-built teams in. That would be much, much better. It would be a lot easier to build your teams too. You wouldn't have to worry about using same type teams. It would be very easy because you wouldn't have to remember which category teams you built. They would just already be pre-built. Okay, so I believe I did this. I'm pretty sure those are my 2 leaders, because everybody here is on Movie Bosses or Corona Body and Mind. And then he has an all types lead, so yeah. Or I guess all physical types, right? Okay, I'm pretty sure that's how I had that one build. And yeah, oftentimes that's why it does work out better for me to just straight up... Oh, did I mess this up? Wait, no, I didn't. Oh, he just has key subtracting mechanics, right? Yeah, enemy. Okay. That's why. I was like, oh no, anytime the characters load in and you see that their key is less than 6, usually that means that you missed out on one of your potential leader skills that you could have given them, right? Like they're only on 1 leader skill, or sometimes 0. Okay, well this is unfortunate because Janemba got locked in the last slot, so we're just going to have to power through here. That is very unfortunate. Obviously, we would have loved to see him in slot 1. Ooh, especially with the super happening there. Alright, well, we're fine. At least we're still very, very early on in the event, right? So, not too much trouble here. I am very curious to see, though, because usually the way they do it with these, special, you know, anniversary versions of these events is they dumb them down a little bit, just to make them more accessible for returning players and stuff. But I have heard some pretty gnarly things about, like, the last fight in this event, so I guess it could make sense if they make the very last fight pretty hard, but the rest of it is pretty easy to clear. Then most players are still going to be able to take advantage of earning most of the rewards here, and then maybe you just won't get quite all of them if you can't beat that final phase. But as long as you can get through all the other fights 3 times, which I'm assuming here will be, you know, kind of a breeze, then I guess it makes sense. Oh, wow, he's got some weird mechanics. Okay, what's going on here? So he's raising attack, grants immunity to being stunned, but only for the first 5 turns. Interesting. And then reduces damage received from STR, Super STR, or Extreme STR by 30%. Interesting. Okay. So we are going to bring a full STR team in here. Wow, that actually adds to the level of annoyance, in my opinion. Okay, so we're doing this. We had a full transformation boost build here. And then for the 1 or 2 units that aren't on Transformation Boost, they are on Terrifying Conquerors for him, and then his all-types leader skill. So we are chilling there. But yeah, that's going to make it, like, okay, this would be a cool mechanic if we were bringing category teams in here. Because then it's like, okay, they don't want you to load up with all-type advantage. So we kind of are at a really big disadvantage right now because we've done that, right? As far as our damage output here. Which I don't think it's going to be too much of a problem in general, but still, the fact that they're adding a mechanic like this means we could see more of this in the future. Imagine if the very final boss had a mechanic like that, right? You're not going to be able to bring a full type effective team against them, but bringing mixtures of category teams with different typings is just impossible to remember what was in your box. So one thing that I have considered doing, and I made a YouTube video about it once before. I actually went all out and did some really, really nice, you know, satisfying looking Photoshop graphics. I pre-built all of my teams for Ultimate Clash. And then I screenshotted the team builds, and I put them into a big page on Photoshop where I was basically showing all 12 teams or 16 teams, whatever it was, that I had pre-built. So it helped me keep track of not doubling up any units between 2 different teams, so I was able to actually, you know, select a whole 112 different units to fill out all of these teams, and they were all category teams, so they were like at least double 170 leads for every team, sometimes double 200%, right? And then what I was doing was I basically created like a little graphic where I could gray them out once I had used them. So that's what I was doing, was just graying them out. And then I knew which team builds I had left, and then it was very easy. You go into a fight, you notice what typing the enemy's going to be, and then you go look at one of your category teams and be like, oh, okay, this one is a physical fight. So let's go pick one of our category teams that has, you know, quite a few, like 3 or 4 STR units on it. That just happens to be really good for that, right? You get much more solid teams built out of everything that you're dealing with, you know, from the get-go. And then you're also, like, I don't know, like, it's just much more organized. It's a lot easier to, like, remember your team builds and stuff. So I have considered just keeping that up as, like, a permanent thing that I do, since they don't really make the in-game, like, it in that way, it kind of suffers the same way that Chain Battle did, where, you know, just relying on the in-game resources you had available wasn't enough. You had to, basically, if you wanted to succeed in the game mode, you had to rely on, like, external resources and things like that. So I have considered doing that, of just having like some type of page saved in my computer where I can have a list of all the teams that I use, so I can just start using category teams, and then I don't have to like sit there and remember what it was. I can just have it all written down. But the only reason why I'm very hesitant to do that is because I change my teams all the time. Every time I pull a new unit, I add them to my Ultimate Clash roster. So that means I'll have to constantly be updating these teams, right? And it would just get more and more complicated if we weren't talking about monotype teams, where, you know, when a new unit comes out, all you have to do is focus on that one monotyping. There's a plethora of category teams that they could be added to. And so there's a lot of different shifting around that you're probably going to do with your teams every time a new Ultimate Clash comes out, or new units are pulled into your box, right? Or an older unit gets easy A's, and then a unit that you never would have been using before is now all of a sudden relevant, right? So, yeah, all things to consider, but it is just very annoying in general, that I feel like I'm basically using a nerfed versions of what I could be using, just because the game mode is set up horribly, right? So, that is my little mini rant. I will include that rant in every single Ultimate Clash video that I ever make until they fix it, because it is beyond annoying to me. So now that we have checkmarked that, gotten that out of the way, we can focus on the fight here. And even after that entire rant, we are still only on his first health bar. So yeah, it looks like using a monotype team here is actually pretty scary. That is very, very interesting. So, yeah, all of a sudden that... are we just dead here? Oh, Boo's good, Boo's good. Okay. All of a sudden, like, that 5-turn ability that he had is making a little bit more sense to me, right? If he's planning on surviving like this, that's kind of crazy. Is this the enemy that they were talking about? It wasn't the actual final enemy of the fight, but it was this one in the middle here? I'm curious. Because, yeah, it seems like... it seems like we're going to be here for quite a while. Which I guess coincidentally is kind of good with the team build that we've brought, because there are quite a few units here that do need to transform and build up and things like that. So in a couple of turns here, we're going to start looking a lot better. The only problem is we haven't really set up our rotations amazingly. Let's see here. I think I do want to keep Boo with Cooler, just for the Metamorphosis link for now. But then, like legitimately just for this turn. I feel like I could also put Turles slot 1. I'm just worried about that slot 1 damage, especially if that's a super attack, because obviously we can't just risk it and take a KO here. We'd have to completely restart. Which I guess we're still decently close to the beginning, so it wouldn't be the biggest deal. But obviously, like, the biggest strat would be to get the Boos linked together, and then potentially, like, the Coolers linked together. And then I suppose Bojack and Turles would all link very well. And unfortunately for us, all 3 of those pairings are split up right now. So yeah, I think the name of the game is do this for now. We still have a lot of turns left in this fight, so I'm not too worried about it. So we'll do this for now. And then... Cooler is going to come around onto this rotation, and then potentially we could make this the Cooler rotation, and then we'll rotate off Boo and make the other one the Boo rotation. We're also sending Turles that way now, so potentially we could keep... I really don't want to rotate off Kid Boo, though. He is like our strongest attacker on the team. I probably would rather just keep Kid Boo on than keep Turles with Bojack, right? I think that will function a little bit better, especially because Kid Boo, once he's fully built up, will be a serviceable slot 1 unit for us, kind of similarly to the Coolers. They'll have a little bit of slot 1 capability once they're fully built. Are we okay here? Are we okay here? Ugh, oh goodness, barely. Okay, well, we've got quite low HP. We might have to reassess here on the next turn. I'm not 100% sure how this is going to go. We don't have any, like, massive healing mechanics or anything on this team, I don't think. Other than, you know, just, like, the passive healing from the links and stuff like that. And, like, same type orb selection. Which is going to be a relevant factor coming up in a bit here, because a lot of these units are buffing their defense as we go on, right? Okay, so already we have the ability to transform Bojack. Because this is going to be such a long fight, I want to double check... if it's going to be worthwhile for us to do that. He's only getting the 1-turn raises on his super attack effect right now. Let's see. Okay, yeah, I guess it does make sense to transform him, because once we do the transformation, he's going to be permanently stacking attack. And that's kind of going to be relevant for this stage. So, yeah, let's go ahead and transform Bojack. Okay, awesome. We get the little orb change in there. And then already we can see Boo's defense is looking pretty massive. So this is going to be huge with all of these orbs selected there. Very, very good. What links do we have up? Barely any. See, this is why I want to get the two Boos together, because they're going to be looking a lot more solid, right? And then obviously we do have Big Bad Bosses up, which is really good. So, let's see if there's a way I can salvage to get 6 orbs with Janemba. Yeah, perfect. That'll work. Or should I do this for the... no, I want those reds to fall together. Yeah, we'll do that. Okay. Hopefully that is going to be good enough for the turn. We'll see. We'll see. All right. So we're actually going to be able to get the Super Boot transformation off. We're going to see a rare moment here. Not only is it rare enough for us to be using that character and then to last long enough in battle for him to get the transformation, the second thing is that we are not at full HP. Usually when we do end up transforming with him, we're just at 100%. So he turns into, what is it, Buhan? I can't actually remember. I think we're going to get Boo Piccolo here. Or no, Boo Piccolo is like the low HP one. That's the worst one. And then the Boo Tanks is the one you get at the middle, like when your HP is mid. I can't fully remember, but we'll double check on this next turn and see. Okay, I think we should be fine here. Yeah, okay. Our couple of recent EZA units are going to be quite good behemoths for us, right? Okay, that is pretty lucky. Okay, so let's see who we end up... Yeah, so we are going into Boo Tanks here. Yeah, I'm the most familiar with Buhan because that's the one that we typically transform into. If I remember correctly, though, the Boo Tanks is actually the best of all of them. Let me double check his passive really quick and see what's going on here. Okay, so he's got a 6-turn effect here. Great chance of launching an additional. Is he perma-stacking? No, he doesn't do any stacking at all with his super attack effect, but he does get the additional going here. What's his defense looking like right now? Decently low. Okay, I don't really like that. I maybe think that the one of these other ones would have been better. Buhan, probably. Yeah, the super attack effect itself is so much better already. Look at this. And then he's got, like, the guard and stuff. The extra defense that he's getting. Yeah, this guy would have been better to get, in my opinion. Okay. Well, that's not the worst. We are going to rotate him off for sure right here. Okay, and then now we have access to the Final Form Cooler transformation, but I don't know if I want to use it yet, just because he does change his super attack effect, right? We are raising defense permanently right now, and then once we transform, we're no longer doing that. We're going to be perma-raising attack. So I think I want to keep raising his defense a little bit more, just until I can comfortably put him in slot 1 every turn, and then we'll go from there. Because right now, obviously, he still is... It's possible, potentially, that he takes damage from, like, a slot 1 super. Or no, he will definitely take damage from a slot 1 super, but it's possible he takes damage even from, you know, like another attack. So yeah, we'll keep building up his defense a little bit more. Oh goodness, and we're about to find out, aren't we? This is gonna hurt. This is definitely gonna hurt. Oh my goodness, that was almost our entire HP pool. We're all the way back down where we were. Well, I guess it's a good thing that this team has some really, really good healing capabilities, right? Oh my goodness. There we go. I was gonna say the no additional supers really hurts with Cooler here. We gotta get some more of those supers in. That attack lower that he's doing on the 18 key is gonna be very helpful as well for him. Oh, we are past turn 5, so it looks like this Baby is no longer nullifying stunning abilities. I don't know if we have any units on the team that actually do stun or can stun. Okay, now this is a really big moment of truth right here. I don't know if this Boo is going to be able to tank the normal attack because we only have like 30k HP to work with. Oh, but this is actually really, really good from Boo. Okay, this is why he's going to be a solid like main rotation unit on the other rotation with the other Boo. He'll have most of his links active, so his defense should be looking a little bit better. And then getting the attack lowers on every single one of his attacks is going to be a really, really big deal, right? Okay, well, there's no hesitation here. Let's go ahead and get the Kid Boo active up. That is just going to buff him up even more. Let's see what his stats are looking like now. Yeah, almost at 1,000,000 defense. That's pretty good. And then Turles, I believe this just gives him a massive buff for the turn, right? Yeah, it's literally just key 24 for the one turn. And that's all it does. We can activate this up to 2 times. Interesting. Okay. Since it's from turn 8, we can do it whenever, 2 times. And then obviously he does get some buffs in his kit when you're attacking with 24 key. He gets the guaranteed crit and a guaranteed additional. So if we are looking at a turn where we're unable to get the 24 key super, then we will go ahead and launch that active. But until then, I think we're probably just going to rotate him off, honestly. I really liked what we were seeing with Bojack last turn. That was looking pretty good. Does Bojack have turn-restricted stuff that falls off? No, he is permanently the same. And then, yeah, I think with Boo's really, really high defense, keeping the orb changer around with Bojack is going to be useful, just so we can get more same-type orb selection on Boo's rotation and get all that HP back for us, right? Which obviously we're not going to be able to do here, but we can save all of these purple orbs for Turles at least so that he can get the 24 key super. It's exactly what we needed too. Love that. All right, awesome. Didn't get unlucky with the slot 1 super there. All right, and then Boo. Oh wait, Boo can stun. I'm pretty sure Boo has a chance to stun, right? If I remember correctly, that is a part of his super attack effect. I need to double check that. We'll take a look at that on the next turn. His attack stat is looking pretty gnarly at this point, though. Still doing basically no damage, though, so that's fun. It is definitely going to take us quite a while to get through this, but it is only going to get easier and easier with the way we've got our team build set up. So I'm thinking once we get through this last little bit of treachery where our HP is super low and we're susceptible to like taking a really big attack, yeah, once we're able to get our HP healed up decently again, I think by that point, all of our units will be like transformed well enough that, or built up well enough that we shouldn't have to worry about that happening again. And then it's just going to be a matter of us sitting here long enough to finally deplete this enemy's pool of HP, right? Okay, so he's actually stunned now. Turles is the one that's got the stun. Let me double check if Boo does. Yeah, high chance of stunning, so he also can. Okay, well, that's good to know. Since he's stunned for the turn, that helps even more. So again, no reason to transform. We might as well keep building that defense while we can. So yeah, we'll grab these. And then I guess, yeah, we might as well just get some same type orbs for the healing. We have enough HP that it's, going to make a difference there. I want to hang on to the Final Form Coolers active as well, because that Supernova is going to do a lot more damage for us once we have our attack built up more and more, right? Because every time we do an 18 key super, we're getting a permanent attack raise. So if we can wait more and more and more turns, then eventually launch that, maybe when we're down all the way at like the blue or purple health bar, when he's got like 4 or 5 left, then that Supernova is going to hit way, way hard, right? So yeah, we'll definitely wait on that one. But yeah, it is good to know that this fight specifically can be stunned. You just got to last those first 5 turns. That is definitely probably going to be, it probably already has been a saving grace for us, right? Just because we were struggling, to battle back with the amount of HP we were gaining versus the amount he's taking. So the fact that we're getting some free turns of healing and damage in here is going to be huge for us, right? It's also going to allow us to put in some extra attack lowers on him, Even though we've done enough of them now that his attack is probably lowered as much as it can be lowered. Maybe. I think it still gives you the attack lower symbol, even if it's already been zeroed out, right? So there's no real way to know, I guess. But yeah, the more of those that we can get, the better, definitely. Okay, so let's see. Wow, they actually... Oh, okay, hold on. Super Boo doesn't have big bad bosses. That changes everything, doesn't it? Man, that's unfortunate. I'm curious to know if we had gone into Boo-Han, if things would be different. Yeah. That really sucks. Okay, that is like the biggest hindrance for us at this point, that he... Ah, man. Okay. Well, it works out fine for this rotation because we can keep it like this. But yeah, unfortunately, I'm not going to keep him as a main rotation unit. We are just going to keep Bojack around instead. Just because of big bad bosses. That makes a huge difference for Boo, or for Kid Boo, right? So there's also the Dokkan attack to consider. I don't think I've ever gotten off a Dokkan attack in Ultimate Clash before, but this will be the first time for that. So yeah, that's going to be a real big thing to consider as well. Luckily, we do have units on both rotations that are capable of dishing out a huge attack stat. I think my preference would be for Kid Boo to do it. Probably. But yeah, I would if one of the coolers had to take over that, that role. That wouldn't be the worst thing. So we'll see how we do here. Boo, I would really love for you to get one of those stuns off. He hasn't stunned a single time yet. High chance. He's got a 50% chance on every single one of these. That's a lot of failed attempts there. Stun? No stun? Oh my goodness. Yeah, we're getting very unlucky with that. Okay, well, we know we're fine here. He definitely can't damage us, especially with all the attack lowers that have been going on, right? Okay, so now Boo-Tank's the weakest unit on the team. The super attack's already been launched for the turn, so we know he'll live. He should be able to tank perfectly fine then, but... Yeah, he is probably, for the remainder of the fight, going to be our biggest worry. Ah, that's so annoying. If we had gotten the Boo Ultimate Gohan... we'd be sitting in a very different position right now, right? Man, oh man. Alright, well, we definitely appreciate the attack lowers over and over and over. Okay, really quick before we continue on, I'm going to double check his abilities. Okay, oh, so this is the deal. Because he's getting the attack 20% up with each turn pass, up to 150... I don't know if this counters our attack lowering or not. I'm not sure if it's like a separate pool of 150 that builds on its own and is untouchable, or if it's a thing of he builds up 20% and then we attack lower him, even though, so he was at the 150 max, we attack lowered him, which means on the next turn he can continue to build it up because he's below the 150 at that point. So I'm not 100% sure about that, but I think that might be the case. That would make sense. Yeah, okay, and then he's just got massive damage reduction, because on top of the extra damage reduction from STR characters, he also just has, like, major damage reduction in general, right? Okay, so we've got more attacks in the middle slot there, so I think I'm going to put the TUR cooler there. Alright. I still don't think I'm ready for actives yet. I want to wait till his HP is about 50% before I start launching any of that stuff off. I think that's going to probably be the smartest thing to do. Okay, and then now we are noticing a turn with Turles where we're unable to get the 24 key. So let's go ahead and launch the active skill for him. And give him the guaranteed 24 key for the turn, just so we can do a little better here. I guess if we are keeping Turles as an off-rotation unit, there aren't going to be that many more turns with him around. So yeah, I don't feel too bad about having used one of the actives already, right? And he's not one of those characters, like, it's not doing damage. It's not something we need to save up, for our build-up like we are with the cooler units and stuff. We can kind of just throw those whenever. It's really just going to help us do more damage, because all that he's getting out of it is an extra super attack, which, I mean, I guess that does help his defense for the turn. Okay, that's really funny. So one thing that I did consider was the fact that he had launched his super very early in the last turn, which meant that he was due to do another super very quickly. So it might have actually been a better idea for me to keep the TUR cooler in the first slot there instead of the LR cooler. I had a moment of pause, and that's what I was thinking about during that, and then I decided, not worth it. But yeah, I definitely should have done that. But that's all right. Live and learn. We survived it. So should not be an issue. And I was going to say, if all goes according to plan, Turles is about to stun right here, so we aren't going to have to worry about that. All right, awesome. And I did make sure to save all of those STR orb. Oh. Okay, you that's funny. Okay. You have to, there's a charge limit. You can't go forever. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay. Well, this changes everything. Okay. Officially, as of right now, Ultimate Clash is the worst game mode in Dokkan Battle. This game mode sucks. I want it to be removed. I want them to take this game mode out and bring Chain Battle back. Like, World Tournament is 100 times better than this. You have to bring a category team. You literally cannot bring a full STR team. It's impossible to beat this with the typing strategy. So what am I to do? What am I to do? What category team do I use? Tell me. Tell me. Out of this selection of units, with your mega giga brain that you've got, what team build do I make? Or is this just a random pooling of units, right? Like, am I the only person that struggles with this in this game mode? Do other people find this as annoying as me? I'm very curious to know. This is like such a problem in my opinion. Okay, well, let me take a big fat pause here, because now I need to rework my entire Ultimate Clash strategy just so that I can have a category team built. Because, as you can see, we've got all of the new anniversary headliners and stuff on here, but I've created a bunch of mono-type teams that include them. And it seems like now I'm going to need to build a category team with a lot of them, so I'm going to have to destroy those mono-type teams that I've built and just start from scratch. Oh my goodness, dude, this game mode sucks so bad. I hate Ultimate Clash. Alright guys, we are finally back and ready. Oh my goodness, I have spent a solid 2 hours on this event already, and I haven't even begun to play it yet. I love that for myself. Okay, so what I went ahead and did here was I built a bunch of category teams, and I took screenshots of every single one of them so I can remember exactly which leaders I used and which units were on the team, as you see before you right now. So I went ahead and I took screenshots of all of the different team builds that we're going to do. As you can see here, there are quite a few really, really powerful category teams with 200% leaders and things like that. So we should have a much easier time getting through this. And then we did build all 16 teams, so we've got all 112 character slots used up. So let's go ahead and jump in and see if this is going to do it for us, I guess. So yeah, I'm just going to, basically I sent those screenshots to myself on Discord, that way I can view the screenshots on my PC, so I just have to pull those up really quick here. That way I can reference this on the side and see which teams I want to start with. Okay, so probably starting out, because it's the easy ones, right? We'll start with Team Bardock. Yeah, we'll do the Team Bardock team first. And then we'll go into the Ginyu Force after. And then from there, we might jump into, like, Peppy Gals. Some of the lower tier teams at the start here. And then we'll see. Obviously, the... Oh, what the heck? I was gonna... That took a long time to load. That was weird. Obviously, the biggest, you know, the most important selection that we do is going to be for that baby fight. We are going to have to consider one of our highest damaging teams, and we'll probably avoid STR units, because it's going to be physical the whole time. We'll probably avoid any teams that are heavy on STR and or int. That way we don't have to deal with the damage reduction from having, you know, STR characters, and then we also won't have to deal with being susceptible to taking damage and doing less damage because we have type disadvantage with int characters, right? So yeah, that will be the name of the game. I assume with my team selection, just because I don't really have a solid way to show you guys all the teams that I'm scrolling through and looking through. I'm probably just going to make multiple cuts while I decide which team to use, if it is taking me too long, and then we'll just jump back in with like whatever next team. But here, for now, we know we're going to be using the Ginyu Force team, so let's go ahead and do that. Alright. This should be easy peasy. Okay, so the thing is, when I have it set up like this, it does make Ultimate Clash a lot easier, right? Because I'm using higher, I'm getting access to higher leader skills. Instead of being restricted to, like, one category lead, and then, you know, maybe sometimes with the really, really cohesive teams, you get a second category team off, or like a category lead on the team. So you're doing like a double 170. But a lot of the times, most of your characters are not on the 200% portions of the leader skill. Oftentimes you have to depend on like whatever your sub leader is going to be is like just a 130 unit or a 150 unit, or sometimes they're 170 to a category and then just 120 to a typing. So most of the units are not on that secondary category. Perfect example of this is like Int Perfect Cell, the LR Int Perfect Cell. You know, I've used him as a lead for Extreme Int because Extreme Int is a very like weird category. Not a lot of those extreme units fit together very well. So if you use one category team, a lot of the times what I end up doing is using the Perfect Cell as my secondary lead, and then he's giving himself the 180% buff to Android Cell Saga, but basically no one else is on Android Cell Saga, so everyone else is only on the 120 version of the leader skill, right? So the biggest difference here is that all of these are going to be like double 200% teams, basically. Other than the two that we just used, because obviously we only had access to the 130 sub leads. But basically all of the other teams are like real category teams that have like double 200%, double 170% and stuff. So yeah, it's going to be looking mighty good. Okay, let's go ahead and decide which team specifically we want to use. Actually, probably what I can do here is just scroll through my those screenshots here. This one specifically, I do want to do the team build part with you guys, just because it is so, like, you know, like, this fight is so hard, right? This is, like, the cream of the crop for this event. Okay, so we don't want to use that Earthbred Fighter team. Let's start closer to the front here of these first teams that we've built. Yeah, this is the first team that we built right here. Okay, so again, we're avoiding Int and STR. We have between Int and STR, we have 3 characters here. I'll probably not use that team. Peppy Gals is not going to be strong enough in general. This could be a good idea, but there is, again, quite a bit of Int and STR there. Same deal here. There's a lot of Int and STR. Let's see, maybe that one will be a good idea, the Uncontrollable Power team. We have a couple of STR here. I don't think this team is strong enough overall. I kind of want one of the stronger teams. Okay, now we're talking. We might be looking into using one of these teams. So, this one has 2 STR characters, and that's it. So that might be a really good option. We'll consider this Successors team here. It's technically a Movie Heroes team, but yeah. That one... no, obviously we don't want to do that. Oh, this could actually be a pretty good build as well. Yeah, so it looks like we're either going to use the new Gogeta team or the new Vegito team. Shocker. I guess, yeah, I mean, this one has, this Buu Saga team has 1 Int character, and that's it. But again, I do like trusting in the power of these characters instead, I think. So let's see. Now let's examine this for whatever the worst character on the team is. So obviously for us here, that's going to be the Super Saiyan 4 Goku. Having type disadvantage here could be potentially problematic. And then for this team, it's going to be the STR Gohan is going to be like the weakest defensive unit here, right? Let's go ahead and use the Gogeta team. I think I have a little bit more faith in this one, especially because our weakest unit just has type advantage. We don't have any units with type disadvantage. We just have 2 units that aren't going to do as much damage because they're STR, right? But we've got plenty of other damage to deal out in this team. So yeah, we'll go ahead and use this team. That'll be good. All right, we've got our Movie Heroes team ready to go. Let's go ahead and jump in. So yeah, one thing I didn't point out that was kind of cool was that once I was finished building all 16 teams, all of our typings were pretty even. They're all in the low 20s, between like 21 and 23 units. So we do have a pretty even split between all the typings, which is very nice. Okay, that's a lot of attacks up front. We're probably gonna want... Let's see, let me give myself a quick refresher on this Super Easy A passive. Just in the past, like, 2 weeks alone, we've had to learn, like, 14 new character kits. There's been a lot of Easy A's and new units going on, so forgive me for not remembering perfectly here. Okay, so he's only giving the buffs when he's the second or third ally in the turn. He doesn't get any buffs for being in slot 1. So yeah, with that considered, we're gonna go ahead and put Gogeta up front, and then we'll have him buff. Yeah, this should work for us. Okay. Dang. Too bad I can't get those green orbs. That's fine. Okay, that will work. And then we do want to select Rainbow Key Spheres with him, so I guess we'll get these. All right, perfect. That provides a little bit of extra support to Gogeta as well. All right, now let's see how we're doing damage-wise in here if we're not using STR characters. Obviously, we're going to be able to see... Okay, that's still quite ridiculous, right? Man, this guy tanks so hard. That is insane. It almost seems as if this is built for legitimately you're supposed to use, like, the new anniversary headliners, because we're still doing no damage. He's supposed to have, like, that extra damage reduction against STR characters specifically, but that was a tech character, and he's still not doing any damage. Like, yeah, what on earth, dude? This STR Gogeta is doing more damage to him than the Tech Gogeta was, even though he has the extra damage reduction. I'm really hoping I didn't get my strat wrong again here, and that I'm misinterpreting what's going on in this fight, because I have legitimately spent way too much time on this already. I am beyond my wit's end with this event. We'll see here, we'll see here. I know we're doing a little bit better to start off so far. Maybe it seems like it. Oh gosh, that's the worst thing that could have happened. Okay. Yeah, I knew he wasn't gonna double-digit tank that. Okay. So, we've got... Let's see here. So he's reducing damage received from STR characters. Great. Why is no one else doing damage? Is his base damage reduction just that high? Like, how are we actually supposed to... How are we supposed to do this? This is crazy. Okay, let's go ahead and just... I guess the experiment this time will be launching all the goodies, right? So let's put them directly in standby, and then we'll start charging up that key counter. Okay, yeah, I guess we grab all these orbs. It's a lot of rainbow orbs for Gogeta is very nice. And then we can grab all of these. Okay. All right, let's see here. We're still only at like a 15 million attack stat, so I imagine we're still doing no damage. Yeah. What are we supposed to do here, dude? Like, I don't understand how we're supposed to do any damage. Is really the answer just supposed to be like we're just supposed to transform into Gogeta and just like rip? Is that it? Like, if the real answer for this stage, in order to get this done in the 9 turns that we have, is it really just, like, pile up to get the highest possible attack stats that you can, and then just rip on attack stats, and that's it? Because, yeah, we're doing no damage, dude. I don't understand. I really don't understand what we're doing wrong here. And it's not like he's got, like, some massively buffed defense and we just have to do critical hits in order to break through, because we're doing crits, but they're not doing any damage, right? It's just that he has so much damage reduction, and there's no, you know, we have super attack effects that are lowering his attack, lowering his defense, but there's no way for us to lower his damage reduction other than not use characters that have type advantage, which is effectively what we've done here, and it doesn't seem to be helping at all. I'm really not sure. I guess let's just keep holding out. This team does have a really, really high peak potential, right? You know, once we get off all of our transformations and things like that. So yeah, I guess we can just continue to wait for the moment and see, I don't know, see if things turn around once we get some transformations off. Maybe we'll see some higher attack stats. Because obviously, like, nowadays, you know, we've only been launching like 15 million attack stats, and nowadays that's actually very, very low. We could potentially be seeing, you know, things upwards of like 40 million, which obviously would help us out. But the problem is it's going to take us so many turns to get there that by the time we're actually doing damage to him, the fight's just going to be over, right? Like, all right, we're going to give this, you know, the old solid attempt here. We'll see what happens through the end of these 9 turns. But yeah, I'm genuinely not sure. I think if I just end up doing what I did last time here, and despite our best efforts, this is literally one of the best teams in the game. There's no reason why we shouldn't be able to take this down. And if we're still like not even close like we were last time, then I'm probably just going to quit attempting this on my own. I'm just gonna go watch and see what like DeTruth did on YouTube, and then go from there and just copy his strat, because this is like so annoying. If this were just a solo fight, if this were a thing on its own, I wouldn't be struggling with this that much. If it was just a fight you jump back into and whatever. But it's like, we're still at the beginning of this event. There's 3 phases of this thing. This is phase 1. So if there's more bosses like this throughout this thing, I am genuinely not interested in dedicating 25 hours of my life to this stupid event that isn't even giving us good rewards. Remember, this is the secondary Ultimate Clash that doesn't really give us much. So, yeah, like, I've decided I'm not touching this on my side JP account. This is a complete waste of time. I do not care about having this on JP. Okay, so the name of the game here is going to be Attack. So let's quickly remind ourselves, if we do the tag switch, we're going to be providing defensive support, but we get the attack support on, you know, staying as the Vegeta. So we're not going to do the tag switch into Goku, even though we potentially could. We're just going to stay here as Vegeta and continue to raise that attack until we can eventually do the fusion into Gogeta, and then we'll see some, hopefully, really, really good damage output. I'm also going to be selecting same type orbs as much as possible, like as quickly as I can, because it would be really, really nice to be able to get off that Dokkan attack. I'm not sure if the 9 turns is going to be enough. Maybe. It might be close. We'll see here. We'll see. You know, another thing that could potentially be an interesting idea is like a giant form transformation, because that does save you turns, right? Though, okay, wait. This isn't actually a turn counter, it's a charge counter. So never mind. Because when you select orbs as in a giant form, you are still consuming charges. So that actually wouldn't be a good strat here. Because it doesn't really matter the turn count, it's just 27 charges, right? So that would actually be a bad thing, considering most of the giant forms do a lot less damage than your normal rotation would. So you're probably just going to end up doing net, like, less damage overall, right? Okay, that's great. You know, the other thing that I just thought of and hadn't considered yet, so typically, like, one thing that I'm very, very used to throughout the course of history when it comes to Ultimate Clash is every single Ultimate Clash is beatable with only 10 teams. Because usually they provide 10 fights. You can use a max of 16 teams, which means you can fail 6 times throughout the run before you're just unable to finish it. But I guess I didn't really consider here that we did bring 16 teams. So if it takes us a couple of teams to blow through all of this, because the thing is, if we fail at the end of the, you know, charge counts that we have available, we can still come back in with a different team and continue. And then he'll be at lower HP when we start, right? So we do potentially have that possibility. That is something to consider. Did they... Oh, whoops. I've misplayed. I didn't realize they were only going to be in their standby for 3 turns. I thought we could rotate them off and then do the finish skill effect. Okay, well, that was a misplay by me, unfortunately. All right, let's go ahead and transform into Gogeta here. And then now we can see where our super attacks are going to be at right at the beginning. Awesome. Well, we've got 1,000,000 defense with STR Gogeta, but we have like a ton of damage reduction on him too, right? I'm pretty sure he's got 80% right now, so we'll go ahead and put him up front. He should be able to tank this perfectly fine. And then, yeah, I guess let's see how this turn looks for us. I am going to select all of these because I do want to get all those rainbow orbs with the STR Gogeta if we can. And then, yeah, I guess we'll just select these. Yeah, that was a pretty big misplay with the standby. Maybe I should have just waited to use the standby because I definitely didn't want to split these two Gogetas. I do... oh, nice, we get the dodge off anyway. Yeah, I do like having these two Gogetas side by side. They're linking up very, very well, helping each other out a lot, so... I wouldn't have opted to split that rotation, even if I did realize that he only had 3 turns for the standby. So yeah, I probably just would have waited to use it. But that's fine. No big deal. It would have been nice to see like what that big giant attack stat would do, right? Alright, well. Okay, so far so good. This is looking a little bit better now, right? Our attack stats are starting to buff up a bit. We're doing a little bit more damage here. We've got 4 turns left after this. Or I guess, well, yeah, technically it's 4 turns that we'll be able to get through. Man, I guess this was a really good idea. Despite, you know, Gogeta being STR, he is still putting out quite a bit of damage. So, we'll take that. Okay, now I'm a little bit worried about them, to be honest. I know they're not like the most amazing defensive unit. They definitely can get caught if they get supered or something like that. Obviously, we know that they're not going to get supered here because we just got the Gogeta, you know, active skill off. So we have the Scouter up for the next 5 turns, which is going to be pretty helpful. All right, and then we've got to keep in mind that the enemy can be stunned starting at the next turn. But again, I don't know if I have any units that have stun chance. It's only very recently that they've added that mechanic back as, like, a relevant mechanic in the game, right? For the most part, it's just been, like, you know, like, only, like, Super Battle Road that you'd be able to use that in, and then basically all of the other challenge content in the game would nullify any of the special effects that you can do, so it wouldn't really matter. Okay, cool. So we will go ahead and do all of our transformations here. So let's go ahead and transform into Gogeta, Super Gogeta here. Awesome, we have the active skill that we can use. And then we're going to go ahead and transform into Gogeta Blue as well. Very good, very good. Okay, how are our links looking right now? Oh, sick. It probably would have been 7 out of 7 if he was still... Because I believe he replaces... yeah, he replaces Golden Warrior with Warrior Gods when he transforms. So it would have been 7 out of 7, but that's fine, that's fine. No big deal. And then... Alright, so now we have the AGL Gogeta active skill here. So we're going to do a massive attack here, and we're going to be giving all the allies on the rotation a pretty sizable buff as well. We're also getting a lot with Rainbow Key Spheres selected here. So yeah, this is going to be huge. Let's go ahead and see what we do. Okay, yeah, that's our massive attack, ladies and gentlemen. We weren't able to build up attack for an insane amount of time. I kind of wanted to just get Gogeta out here as quickly as possible. But obviously that would have hit a lot harder had we stayed in base longer and continued to stack attack before, you know, transforming and using the active. But yeah, we gotta get everything out as quickly as we can here. That's definitely name of the game. We gotta get as much damage in as possible, as quickly as possible. So yeah, I think that was probably still the best move. Just because then, you know, Gogeta himself, with all the attacks that he does for the turn, is going to do a lot of damage. He also did give that 50% buff to the entire rotation. So that's going to make our other units hit a lot harder as well. Okay, where is his HP at the moment? Okay, it looks like so far we're doing quite a bit better than we were last time, which obviously last time we weren't in a hurry to do too much damage. We were just kind of, you know, chugging along trying to survive, because obviously we weren't using nearly as good of a team as this. And then obviously we didn't know the deal with the charges, or I guess I just didn't realize. It was sitting there on screen the entire time. I just neglected to look at it, right? Usually it's not too relevant, those charge limits. Most of the time they're just there as a failsafe, to make sure people aren't cheesing their way through events. Because with certain events you do have the ability to, like, bring, you know, like the Botamagetta leader, for example, which is just going to subtract the enemy's attack, or basically reduce damage received by like 43%. So if you use him as your lead and your friend lead, then you're just not taking any damage, right? Your units don't put out any damage because they're on a leader skill that doesn't provide any stat support at all. So you're basically just chipping away at the enemy slowly, like very, very slowly over time, ultimately giving yourself like 4-hour, 5-hour runs on something. So to avoid your ability to do that kind of thing, that's why they've added the charges in the first place. Both of those things kind of came into the game around the same time. So it makes sense as a way for them to negate that. But it seems a little bit excessive here, right? Because obviously, you know, the only reason we're not able to clear it has nothing to do with, you know, with like our cheesy strategy, and has everything to do with the enemy's ability to tank the ever-living heck out of us, right? Okay, so we do have... Okay, it's turn 7 now. So we're only going to get this rotation, the next turn, and then one more rotation. So if we do want to use the finish effect with this STR Gohan, then we are going to have to put him in standby now, and this is what our rotation would look like. I think this is probably a good idea. Do this, that way we can get the finish effect off on the next turn when he comes back around. Let's go ahead and do that. I am going to be biased toward doing this, simply because I've never done it before. I did just pull this Gohan during part 1 of the anniversary here, so yeah, I have not, like, seen this effect yet, in my account anyway. So yeah, I really would like to, I guess... Ooh, it's looking a little bit ugly here. I'm not sure... I guess we'll do that. We want to try and make sure to select all of these, what's it called? All of these Dragon Balls that we can, right? Okay, so we'll grab these orbs with him. We weren't able to select those STR ones. It wanted to default to the rainbow orbs, unfortunately. Let's see. That's only one rainbow orb. I'd rather get the more rainbow orbs here. Okay, perfect. We'll do that. Alright, and then between our attacks on the next turn, we should be able to select the rest of those Dragon Balls. And then, if anything, we can still, at the start of the final turn, do like 1, potentially 2 more Key Sphere selections before we have to launch the finish skill, right? So no matter what, we'll make sure to get those Dragon Balls selected. I think it might be a little bit easier for us to do on the next turn, too, because the units that we have on the next rotation do give themselves a lot of ki when they select stuff. I think we have a little bit of orb changing we're going to see happen as well, so that will be helpful. Okay, well, based on our current trajectory, it doesn't look like we are going to fully flatten this baby in the 9 turns. He almost definitely is still going to have some HP left over. So yeah, it's just going to be about getting him as low as possible, right? Okay. Very, very good turns from STR Gogeta here. Okay, that was some pretty good Key Sphere changing there. Definitely love to see that. Okay, let's see. Let me remind myself really quick. If this guy is building up attack as he gets hit... he builds up defense when attacking, or just gets defense upon attacking. Okay. Yeah, he's not getting anything like that. He's getting additional attack with rainbow Key Spheres. Okay, perfect. So then, yeah, because he doesn't need to take any hits for extra damage, I feel comfortable using the Gogeta active here. Because on this turn, so we'll get a little bit of extra damage in here. This is going to do next to nothing, though. So be ready for that. Let's see here. Yeah, awesome. Okay, but then this is also going to activate the target skill mechanic. So now we're going to dodge all of these attacks for the turn, right? That is a definite W. Okay, we do have 2 rainbow characters, or 2 physical characters on the rotation. So I think maybe I will select these orbs with the first Gogeta. That way we can get 2 rainbow orbs in there. That's good to help increase his attack power a little bit. And then we can grab all of these physical orbs, get most of our Dragon Balls in. There we go. And then we just have the last 2 Dragon Balls to get here, and that will work perfectly fine. Awesome. So there we go. Got all the Dragon Balls selected, and we're at 67 Key Spheres obtained. So I imagine that this finish skill is going to hit quite hard. Okay, awesome. We are going to counter that one, because it's a super attack, right? Very, very good. Little extra damage in there. Okay, hey, you know, I'm curious to see how this is going to go here. I don't know how strong this finish effect is actually going to be. I mean, I highly doubt that it would ever do, like, even at its max power, it's probably not going to do more than, like, a bar of HP, right? Probably not, so we'll see, we'll see. Okay, so far so good. We are looking pretty decent at the moment. I'm thinking it'll be pretty likely we can get him down to like 3 bars. Well, he's about to be down to 3 bars. I guess the hope would be under 2 bars then. Or not under 2, but under 3 bars. So like... Well, I guess technically if we're on the 3rd bar and he loses any HP, that is under 3, right? So yeah, down to... Basically, I want to fully deplete that blue one and get him down to the green would be pretty satisfying. Wow, that's wild. I wonder if there is actually a team that can... Well, there probably is a team that can beat this all in one, but one thing that I did was I tried to split up my anniversary headliners just a little bit. There are quite a few of them stacked on some of these teams, but I wanted, like... I didn't want to put, like, all of the best units in the game on, like, 2 or 3 teams, and then the rest of the teams I'm bringing into this fight are, like, not very good, right? So I wanted to split it up so that I had at least like 7 or 8 teams that are full of like really, really god tier units. So if I were to switch it up to where I had like, you know, for example, the perfect example is both of the new Dokkan Fest LRs, the Gogeta we're using here and then the Vegito that leads one of our other teams, I could have run them both on the same team. It would have been a little bit of a waste. I mean, I guess that could have just been like our de facto strongest team because they have basically the same leader skill. So we could have used a lot of the same units on there. But yeah, so had I done something like that, then maybe we would be able to beat this in just one go. But I wasn't sure about like the rest of the Ultimate Clash fight, right? Okay, so let's go ahead and select all of these with Gogeta first. Get some more charges for that charge counter, right? Okay, yeah, so we'll do this. And then how does that make these orbs fall? Pretty nicely, actually. Okay, well, let's go ahead and launch the finish skill really quick here. See how much damage we do. Keep in mind that we are STR, so that's going to take away some of the damage that we do. Oh, goodness. Yeah, and we didn't crit, so that really, really hurt. The total amount of damage output there, unfortunately. But it's not a huge deal. Okay, like, obviously it wasn't going to be the difference of, like, actually KOing this guy or not. We're definitely going to have to use a secondary team on this fight no matter what. So, yeah. Okay, we're gonna... do we nullify this? Oh, no, he doesn't nullify Ki Blast. Okay, well, our damage reduction came in clutch for us anyway. Alright, well, let's see how much damage we can put out here in this last little bit. And then we are going to have to be jumping back in with another team. So let me start glancing through and see which team I maybe want to bring. I guess I probably will... Well... Yeah, I kind of do want to just use the Vegito team. Oh, let's use the Buu Saga team. Yeah. Let's see, we've got Gohan on there, him. Yeah. Yeah, let's do that. I'm gonna bring the Buu Saga team in here after with Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks and the Angel Super Saiyan 3 Goku as my leaders. We will bring them and see. We've got some decent potential for damage on that team. If we can transform with Majin Vegeta, that will be really good. AGL Vegeto's got all those counters and stuff. Yeah, should be solid, should be solid. Alright, so we did obviously a lot better this time. Managed to get him down to... Oh, wait, we still have a turn left. Oh, it's 10 turns because it's not 27 charges, it's 30 charges. Oh, so we have another turn here. Wait, Oh, okay, so we ran out on the Gogeta fusion. We have nothing left there. So we are back to just Vegeta. Our attack isn't super insane. Ooh, all of a sudden I'm a little bit worried about what we're doing here. I think I don't know what the right answer is. I guess we could just... It's the last turn anyway. And again, we're still dealing with the situation of... We're not going to be doing, like... Oh, we got the Dokkan attack. Oh, that's huge. I'm glad I'm really glad I kept him in the first slot there. I completely forgot about the Dokkan attack. That was something else we could be going for, right? Okay, let's see if we can get... Okay, just the one Rainbow Orb. Perfect. That'll help provide the support that we need to, though. Okay, let's see how this Dokkan attack looks. Oh, he was stunned. I was looking away last turn when he must have gotten stunned. That's funny. Okay, yeah, but I think this works best because we're getting the Legendary Power Link active, but then we also have the Gogetas linked together this way, and we have the STR Gogeta in a slot where he's giving support. I was just a little bit worried about that slot 1, but with the stun, I guess I definitely made the right choice, especially with the Dokkan attack here, right? Alright, well, let's see. Okay, it's neat. Decent damage, not great. Again, we didn't critical hit or anything. Obviously, you know, my Gogeta's only 55%. Maybe if he was rainbowed, that would be the difference that we would have needed throughout this fight for the extra additional attacks we would have been getting from the hidden potential system and the just extra stats on all of his attacks anyway. Yeah, so it's looking like a full rainbowed version of this team with good equips and everything. Maybe would be able to take this down in just the 10 turns. So yeah, I guess it isn't that insane after all. But it is definitely like the hardest Ultimate Clash fight that we've had, right? This is quite ridiculous. Alright, well, okay, so then I guess I did have... Oh, I didn't even remember about that. Okay. So I had 2 misplays. Both of my standby skills for this event were misplays. So there we go. We've just got 1 bar of HP left on him. So yeah, we'll go ahead and bring the Buu Saga team in here and then finish him off. So let me get that team set up really quick. Alright, cool. We've got our Majin Buu Saga team here. Let's go ahead and jump back in. So yeah, what I was saying is that I did misplay on both of the standby skills, right? Because the very first one, I rotated him off so he didn't even get to use the finish effect. And then for the second one, I kept him on rotation so that he would be able to return on turn 9 and do the finish effect on what I thought was the final turn of the fight. But because we had 1 more turn, what I should have actually done with that was rotate him off and get 1 extra turn of Key Sphere selection to make it hit even harder. And then we would have actually launched it on the last turn, which was turn 10 there. And then we would have been good, right? So keeping in mind, 1, that most of my units that we've been using, because these are all like the new main like anniversary headliners and stuff, are 55%. The other thing is I haven't really like invested equips into any of them because a lot of them are going to get special equips that are like anniversary exclusive and stuff anyway. And then the third thing to consider is that I misplayed on both of my standby skills, sacrificing damage for those finish effects, right? So if all 3 of those things that we're considering, the fact that I got him down to less than 1 bar of HP left is actually pretty good. That is actually not bad at all. Alright. Well, I am, I guess, hoping that the remainder of this Ultimate Clash is just going to be smooth sailing. if there are any more fights in here like this, I am going to be a little bit worried. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I definitely wouldn't be, like, prepared for it. I mean, kinda, right? I still do have some very strong teams left. Obviously, if we are going to be facing off against another, like, behemoth team, we're not going to know until after it's already happening, so I probably won't be in that fight with, like, one of my best teams. Because since we've gotten through the big one that we know about, now what I'm thinking is that if it's going to continue on like Ultimate Clash normally does, then we, we can expect 10 fights. And then some type of, like, major boss fight as the very last one. So I'm probably just going to hold on to that Vegito team for the very last fight. But yeah, so that means that if we encounter a really hard fight before then, we're not going to be using the Vegito team outright. We'll probably be encountering it with something else that is a little less capable. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that works for us. But I guess the other thing to consider, right, is that the Vegito team is looking like the second strongest team for this fight. Not just because of Vegito, but because of all of our character typings. So if there's another fight like this, but it's a different typing, then all of a sudden the Beast Gohan team, the Uncontrollable Power, like, Broly team, the Universe Survival Saga team, like, all of those builds that we put together are going to be, looking really, really good. So that's another thing to think about. Okay, do we risk it with the Vegito damage here? Because obviously he could get KO'd if we like, take a super attack. I actually don't think it's worth it. I think this is probably the best way to run the rotation. Because you remember this Goku is going to have a ton of damage reduction, so we are guaranteed to survive here with him. Gohan would be a little bit of a scary one. And then, yeah, I guess, like, Vegito potentially could take damage as well, so we'll see, we'll see. But yeah, obviously, if we wanted to do the most amount of damage possible this rotation, we would have put Vegito in the first slot. Just because then he'd get to do all those counterattacks. But the chance for there to be a super attack there is a little bit nerve-wracking to me. So I think it's probably better to do this. And I'm glad we did. There we go. That was a smart move. And now with that, we should survive the rotation. Because the others should be strong enough to tank normals at least, right? Well, obviously we know Vegito is, but then I was referring mainly to Gohan because he has type disadvantage. I'm not actually sure what he would have taken from a super attack here. Probably wouldn't have been the best, though. Okay. Oh, wow. It looks like he had a dodge in the chamber, ready to go. Wonderful. Okay, can we get an additional super for some extra damage? No? Alright. Well, that is fine. Gonna get some good counter damage in there. Yeah, maybe we might have actually finished off the entire fight right there had we put Vegito in slot 1. I mean, barring if he survived the super, right? Just because of looking at how much damage he was able to do with one crit counter right there. Had we gotten multiple of those with more of his attack buildup and stuff, that probably could have been really good. Let's see. Are these orbs gonna fall nice? Yeah, there we go. Get some yellow orbs in there. Perfect. Okay, and this should be GG right here. Oh, awesome. Okay, we have a high chance for a 777 defense. Let's see if we get it. Yeah, we did. Awesome. So, yeah, now we're definitely in the clear. There's no way we can get KO'd at this point. Okay, yep. And then Gotenks is just gonna do it for us. Okay, sweet. Imagine there was a phase 2 to that fight. Imagine. Okay, well, there we go. That is level 1 cleared now. We've only used one XST. Oh. 33 minutes. Jesus. Okay, level 1 clear. So we are still getting Clash currency, which is really nice. We're still getting the battlefield memories. Dude, 33 minutes to clear that. That's insane. Wait, that's it? Wait. That's it? Oh. Wow. Wow. Literally? Okay. I wish I had known this 2 hours ago. That's insane. It's all making sense now. There's only one phase, dude. It's just level 1, and then you're done. Okay. Well, I guess they're just going for something different this time around. Okay. I guess to then backtrack a little bit on my earlier statements, because my statements were made based out of certain assumptions. This isn't as bad as I thought. It just seems like now this is actually kind of more what Ultimate Clash, I feel, was originally built for, right? Because the whole idea based around them giving you, the ability to select all of your best units into a box and then, compile units and use them on, the team and stuff, like, it's supposed to be like a battle royale type thing, like a raid boss type thing. It's supposed to feel like you're slowly chipping away at the enemy whilst exhausting through the units that you have available to yourself, and you bring them once and then they're gone kind of thing. And then I think they're, obviously the mode would be a little bit overpowered towards us if it was just one boss, because then you would have to actually get KO'd with your team in order to not be able to use the units anymore. So in order to balance the mode a little bit and make it a little bit tougher and force you to actually cycle through and use multiple units, they just take away your units once you finish a boss off, instead of being able to reuse a team if you beat a boss, right? So I think this just follows more of the true merit of what the mode should have been in the first place, which is fighting against one really, really hard boss that takes a lot of teams to get through, and then you're just done, right? So I guess that's not too horrible. But again, everything that I said about the way you select your teams and keeping track of your team builds and all of that stuff, especially with having a boss like this where it's one typing through the whole fight, but then the type effective units you would want to use have a massive debuff, you're kind of forced to use category teams at that point. So I really just do not like the team setup for this thing, and I wish there was a better way. I really, really hope that they revamp this game mode at some point to add that, but we'll see. I am just hoping that for maybe when Dokkan 3 comes in another 2 or 3 years, maybe for the 15th anniversary, we'll see. All right, well, I have done enough focused content on this event. I am absolutely done with it. Thank you guys so much for sticking with me through it. That is going to do it for this one. Check out the links in the description below, and I will catch you guys next time. Peace.